Well, good evening. I'm Rick Dancer. Welcome to Get Real with Rick Dancer, coming to you live from the Mckenzie Valley, from the Portland area, from Eugene, Springfield, and from Livingston, Montana. And yes, if you're noticing, and you should, unless you're blind, I found a new barber. And joining me now is my hair specialist, Kim Stark. Look at that. He really
I
leveled
am
up.
impressed, Rick, that you found that in Montana. I could not have duplicated that if I tried.
His name's Quinn, and he has his own shop, and he has all the everybody that's coming in today written on the board. And then I went to my, I used to always go to the coffee shop in Eugene. I'd go to the city, and Lisa and everybody in there knew me, and it was like kind of old home week, and every morning I started and I haven't done that since I'm here. So I went in yesterday, and this lady made a really great cup of coffee. She's, kind of closer to my age or something. And today, so I walked in, and standing at the counter, she helps the lady in front of me. She walks away and she looks at me, and she's already making this drink. And she says, that's a double shot decaf almond milk latte with 2 stevia. And I went, you're good. And she goes, you came in twice. I know you like my coffee. And I said, I feel like I found my love.
That is impressive. You're finding the best people in Montana right there.
I was stunned. I was really shocked that she did that she knew so much. So anyway, Kim, you got some fun stuff coming up the Mckenzie. Things are going on, and lots of fun things happen on the Mckenzie River this summer.
Oh my gosh. And it's such a beautiful day here, just like there. So we have perfect weather for this. Yes, it's gorgeous. I think it's supposed to rain this weekend, but you know how it is. Today we're enjoying. So yeah.
And Bill London's going to start us off in just a couple of minutes. And he's got a couple rants people that if you're like a Bill London rant friend, you're going to love this. And then my brother from another mother, Ben Idle from Free Oregon, is going to be joining us. His hair's on point, but he just got off a motorcycle, so it's not quite up to standard yet. But you know what? We're going to let him come on anyway, just because, he's a good guy. But I called Ben because I'm thinking, Free Oregon, okay, the mandates are over, so isn't everything over? But well, we're going to find out what Free Oregon is doing and that kind of thing. And Bill has some news for us. And then we've got our sponsors, Mercury Metal, Design and Fabrication. They're one of our sponsors. I put together a little video that's going to play tonight. And Rosa Real Estate Group. Derek has a home. And the picture, unfortunately, didn't show up, but it's along the Mckenzie. Judy's a realtor, one of our guests. They're going, Judy who
yeah
she's right here in my green room. But there's a home that he's going to put on there with 40 acres and timber and a fixer. It's a manufactured home, but it's a good deal. So we're going to talk about that a little bit. And then Chris Dental Family Dentistry, where everyone
is welcome.
Invited.
This is Dr. Michael Brown from Chris Dental. For all those of you that sat back and did nothing while our civil liberties were taken away from us the last 2 years, shame on you. Shame on you for not fighting for our kids to be back in school and not having to wear masks. Shame on you for buying into political science, not actual science. For all those who did nothing, next time, and there will be a next time, don't be complacent. Actually fight back.
Michael doesn't say what he thinks.
No, not at all.
It drives me crazy. I never know where he's coming from.
I love it. He has the best commercials.
So. I sent that ad. He wanted to do some advertising on Lars Larson, so I sent Lars Larson that ad, and he put him on the show. Put it on the show that day.
Oh, that's awesome.
Because he loved what he was doing.
I'm
going to start with Bill London because he's got some stuff going on. So we'll start the roll show. Kim, you'll be back in just a minute, and then we'll have Judy at the end talking about stuff going on in the Mckenzie. So if you guys are sitting at home right now and you're watching, share this right now on your page, because sometimes YouTube doesn't like me, or not YouTube. YouTube doesn't like me at all. Sometimes Facebook doesn't like me. And so anything you do, we pay them to push it forward, but they're still mean. They're not very nice people.
They're not very nice to you.
No. And so if you share it, it really does help us. So let's get the open going, and then we'll get to Bill London. And by that time, we'll have something really to talk about.
Who puts up with this? That's what I don't understand.
Bring the lion out. Bring the lion.
Tonight on our show, we're going to have...
Hey guys, don't you think it's kind of fun that you get to comment on the news?
There's a cost. Oh yeah, there's a cost. People come after you.
I think that's why this is so much fun, is because...
We'll see you at 5.
News Radio 1120 AM and 93.7 FM KPNW Studios. I'm Bill London, host of the Wake Up Call, heard on this fine radio station every Monday through Friday morning, 6 a.m. to 9. And by the way, you can listen to us on the stream at kpnw.com. You click on that Listen Now thing. Like now you listen. Speaking of my radio station, Timber Unity is having a debate, and this is going to be the largest debate of Republicans running in the primary to have a chance to take on the Democratic nominee in the general election for the governor's seat. Tonight's debate is going to be focused on natural resources. It's going to be held at 6 p.m. our time. We're going to be running the thing unless, again, something hideous occurs. But what I find is a sad state of affairs is when you have dissatisfaction with Salem as high as it is, and all of the polling shows this. What's disturbing is that legacy media has dropped the ball when it comes to the gubernatorial primaries. Now, KATU in Portland, a television station there, was going to run some debates, but they wanted to limit how many of those candidates could actually be seen on television. And when they received pushback on it, they just canceled the whole thing and said, well, we'll just focus on the general elections. For me, that is legacy media doing a disservice to Oregonians. I mean, it should tell you something that when you have two well-known Democrats in the state in the primaries, namely former House Speaker Tina Kotek and current State Treasurer Tobias Reed, facing 15 other Democrats in the primaries, it should tell you, even among Democrats, they don't like the status quo and where the state is going. And you have to ask the question, what is the legacy media in this state actually doing? This should be one of the most important elections in Oregon in a long time and treated like that. But our mainstream media here just seems to be ignoring it. Apparently, there's just not enough cat stories. All right, speaking of elections, voters in Oregon have until April 26th to register to vote in Oregon, if they're not already, for the May 17th primary, or change their party affiliation. Now, the reason I bring that up is because non-affiliated voters now in Oregon outnumber Democratic voters and Republican voters. They are the number one voting bloc in the state of Oregon. But the thing is, both the Democrats and the Republicans conduct what they call closed primaries for governor, meaning that you have to be registered as a Democrat to vote in the Democratic primary, and you have to be registered as a Republican to vote in the Republican primary. The problem here is if you're unaffiliated, you have really very little say, well, none, in any of the partisan races for the primaries. So they have until April 26th now to actually register if they want to change and vote in the primary. They're going to have to do it before then. It's expected that Oregon counties are going to be mailing out ballots to voters in the state between April 27th and May 3rd. And there's a change this year. Used to be, because Oregon is a mail-in state, that you either had to drop your ballot in a ballot box by 8 p.m. or the envelope with your ballot had to be in to the elections division by 8 p.m., in this case, on May 17th. The legislature has changed that. As long as your ballot is postmarked by 8 p.m. on May 17th, it will still be counted. But anything that's not mailed in is going to have to be dropped by a ballot box. So remember Cover Oregon, the $300 million website to sign people up for the Affordable Care Act that never signed a single person up in Oregon and was a dismal failure? Well, that system was set up to do not only the Affordable Care Act, but take care of all other social services like SNAP, like, for instance, child care payments and Medicaid. Well, it didn't work then, and apparently the same concept is not working now. an Oregon State online enrollment system run by the Department of Human Services that was launched a year ago continues to make thousands of people wait longer than they should for state help, getting, for instance, food, caring for kids, and paying for medical care. As of March 18th, the state had failed to meet federal deadlines in processing more than 8,000 applications. They break down to about 5,500 applications waiting longer than the 45-day deadline for Medicaid, and about 1,500 more had been waiting more than a month to hear whether they were going to be able to get food stamps. Hundreds more were waiting longer than they should have for cash and child care. The average process, or the agency processes, about 67,000 applications a month. The oldest applications for medical and food benefits date back to March of 2021. The department, DHS, hasn't provided any details on the maximum length of time that many other applications are past due. So the department launched this, what they call Online One system, a year ago as a one-stop portal to benefit programs, all of the programs in Oregon. Previously, people had to call or go to the DHS office. So it didn't work back for the Affordable Care Act, and while it's working somewhat, it's still not working well now. Does Oregon have anybody working in IT? So environmentalists have claimed that our worsening wildfires are caused by climate change. Well, research by Oregon State University's College of Forestry suggests a new way for forest managers to reduce the costs associated with managing older Douglas fir stands: thinning. Yes, thinning, something that environmentalists have blocked and fought all the way. Thinning is essentially removing trees and stands to allow more room and resources for other healthier trees. And according to Oregon State, that can result in enough of a financial offset to prompt forest managers to actually grow older stands, 100 years old or more, before harvesting them, according to the study. Now, this is what they say. Older stands of trees provide ecosystem services that younger stands do not, like wildlife habitat, diversity of native shrubs, and they're much more fire resistant. They say the research shows that study plots subjected to no thinning ended up with trees dying due to overcrowding and becoming wildfire fuel. OSU researcher John Tapiner said, "Our work suggests opportunities for managing the hundreds of thousands of acres of young forests on Forest Service and other public lands." He says those lands were managed as tree farms and are currently densely stocked young stands, both planted and natural, that are not being thinned and are consequently accumulating high volumes of dead trees, also known as wildfire fuels. So inflation has hit another staple: eggs. Eggs have jumped more than half in recent weeks, and it's because of an avian influenza outbreak that is decimating Midwestern flocks, even as the industry prepares for higher demand in the approach of Easter. Midwestern farmers have had to kill more than 46 million chickens to try and staunch avian flu. The USDA on April 1st looked at cartoned large white eggs from the Midwest. They're priced on average at $2.47 a dozen. That is 91% more than in March 18th. And there are concerns over potential supply disruptions because of avian influenza outbreaks in commercial flocks. 25 states now report having at least one infected flock. So far, the only western state affected with the avian influenza is Wyoming, but it's expected to spread to other states. Well, there's your news. Rick, rip it up with some real. Get real, Rick.
Bill, that is a really nice shirt you got on tonight. Kim, did you see that?
I did notice that. That was impressive. I'm so happy Bill's back with his news that we need.
I know. I love his newscast because it's always stuff that you're not going to see. Like I would not know because I don't watch any other news. But
Well, true, right.
he does stuff that he talks about things that other people aren't going to talk about. So
Yeah.
he's exactly on tonight.
Exactly. I get it. And you know what, Rick? Maybe I should hold on to our chickens and maybe have more. This is scary.
Your chickens, but don't eat the bunnies, honey.
Okay. Just the.
All right,
someone
I got
said
a
that the
little.
other day.
Check out this new little video I put together for Mercury Metal, one of our.
Oh yes, I want to see
sponsors.
this.
Mercury Metal Design and Fabrication does in the name. We basically fabricate any type of sheet metal. We do any type of structural steel as well. We do chainsaw bar manufacturing. We also do CNC machining, high-end laser cutting, form and fab. We also do custom welding of any type of stuff. We do some stuff on site, but not so much. But most everything in-house is all custom sheet metal fabrication. But a lot of the stuff we do for like, there's one company, I can't really name the customer, but we do large 4x4 Land Cruiser type things that go through and you can live inside of them. They're solar powered, huge tires on them. A lot of our stuff is on top of that. So that's good advertisement too. So Lane Community College came in and dropped this off. This was basically an engine mount for a Cessna that was made between 1979 and 1985. So they asked us for a quick replication of it, made out of chromoly steel, exact measurements. So we'll take it, reverse engineer it, produce a bunch of them for them, and give them some replicas.
Because you can't find those anymore, so they bring you the actual part and you recreate it.
Yep. Our reverse engineering process, yeah.
That's crazy. Isn't that cool?
They're so awesome. They do,
So
and I never even knew half of the stuff they did.
No, and so if you had something that you just know you couldn't, it's not a knockoff. You can't just find it somewhere.
Yeah,
They can recreate that, and they're doing it. So that's Mercury Metal Design and Fabrication, another one of our sponsors.
Yeah.
So can you remember that Ben Idle guy? not Billy Idle. This is his cousin Ben.
This is your brother from another mother, actually.
So Ben is with Free Oregon, and he's also running for the state Senate District 19. And far be it from me for showing my ignorance, but I don't really care anymore. Which district is Senate?
You shouldn't care anymore. Well, you should, because everything that's happening on the West Coast is going east.
That's why I came east, because I'm trying to stop it, but I'm also trying to help, like showing people. We had a show last night with a couple of guys from Montana, and the question was, why are you so afraid of the red state of having blue state people move in? It was the most interesting conversation because these guys one was the Democrat and the other guy was a Republican, and they don't care about party stuff. They go, this isn't about party. It's about don't come to our state and tell us what to do. And that's what Oregon used to be like. It was like, I don't care if you're a Democrat or Republican, what's best for the community at hand. And we've lost that. We've just lost that. And that's what Free Oregon is really trying to do, isn't it?
Yeah, it is. It's what we've been trying to do since day one. And it's crazy. Like, this is not about, you would not believe the stuff I've learned as I've entered into the race for a Senate district for the state. Because I'll tell you right now, the Republicans that are in Salem, they would rather have a Democrat in this seat for District 19 than have a Republican they can't control. And I'm a Republican they can't control. And so they're financing my opponent when my opponent really isn't positioned at all to beat Rob Wagner, who's the Senate Majority Leader. And that's who we have to take out in District 19.
Well, see, when I ran, so Kim, when I ran for Secretary of State, what I learned really fast, because I was pretty naive, I think.
Right.
The big picture. And so when I'd go in and have a meeting with X company that sponsors Republicans, and they give me $5,000. Then I find out they gave $5,000 to Kate Brown too. And I'm like, if you want me to win, why don't you give me 10 and not give her 5, but they hedge their bets. So you have a state that people think it operate. And then the other thing I'll bring up here is the editorial stuff. Don't trust anything you see on the editorial page coming from people. What they do is they come to you. I never did this. They come to you and say, Rick, we're going to write these different pieces and then we'll just find people and put their name on it. And that's what they said. I'm like, no, you're not. You can't do that.
They do that to me all the time.
Oh.
He said this. And you're like, To who?
You're
Not to
like, I
them.
did. Yeah. Yeah. To who'd I say that to? Oh my gosh.
Yeah, it was crazy. So Ben, for Free Oregon, what is the big topic right now that you're really concerned about?
Right now, we are coming up on the final stages of the lawsuit that we filed last year in September on behalf of health workers, first responders, teachers, and government workers. We're going into oral arguments in about a month, and this is before this is one of our state lawsuits. So we're going to go to the state appellate court in about a month or so, and we're going to have oral arguments and finalize to determine whether or not the mandate was legal. We say it was an illegal mandate. The EUA said I would say the COVID medicine. What I learned my lesson last time, Rick.
Yeah, that's right.
We'll say COVID medicine. The COVID medicine was not to be mandated by the EUA, but the state of Oregon's argument back to us was that it's not a mandate. You don't have to live in Oregon. You don't have to work in the hospital system. It's not a mandate. We're not forcing you to get anything, any kind of medication. So their argument has been that argument all along. And so now we're going to go to a panel of appellate court judges who've all been appointed by a Democrat in the last 30 years. And we're going to see if these judges decide if it's not a mandate, because that's what the argument is.
When I had Betsy Johnson, who's running as a non-affiliated candidate for governor, I had her on the other night, and I said to her, what should happen? Now I saw an article where we're having trouble hiring enough nurses. Well, because you fired them all, you dummies. And I said, Betsy, what should happen to those people that got fired for that? And she goes, give them their damn jobs back.
Yeah.
And it's like, they should all be sucking it up and saying, okay, we made a mistake, and now we don't have enough people to take care of people, and we're going to hire you back. But even in state agencies, it's like, we have people here that know the job. Just hire them back and suck up your ego a little bit.
Well, you got to understand, it is so insane because they did this at a time where they were complaining publicly that we were short on hospital staff. Yeah. Then they started bringing in nurses and other hospital staff in from other states that didn't have to have the medicine. Right. And I'll tell you this, just yesterday, I was talking to a friend of mine who works in the Salem hospital system, and she showed me, I got a picture. She has to wear a yellow tag on her name badge to show that she has not taken the COVID medicine.
Oh, now, wasn't there a yellow emblem that other people had to wear when they were in a certain place? But we can't say anything about that because then we'd be canceled and people would accuse me of making this something it's not. But to label people, that's interesting. I also thought it was funny when they start, whining about not having employees and all these people, and they're hiring and their budgets are sinking because they're telling people don't come to the hospital because you don't want it. But now we want you back in the hospital because we're going broke. And
there's a lot of weird stuff going on. Look, the OHA is no longer reporting cases, but they're still making people who didn't get the medicine take all these accommodations. I have another one of our people that's in our lawsuit, is named in our lawsuit, works for Oregon Health Authority, and she has to wear what's called a PAPR. And a PAPR is like a space helmet that has airflow that filters the air. So she has to walk around in this space helmet. I'm not kidding you. I got pictures of it. It's crazy. She has to do it every single day. Now it's like a badge of honor, People go to work and they say, no, I'm holding my ground. It's not even about the medicine. It's about my body, my choice. And that's what it's about.
Well, Ben, I wear one of the PAPRs, but it's strictly to keep my hair where it's supposed to be.
I can see you in one of those.
When I leave here, I mean, my wife's used to it, but when I leave here, I just put it on. And I walk around the house and everything.
Kathy would kick that off your head if you were walking around with that on. Teachers, it's the same thing. So I have a friend who's subbing who can get the exemption, but then people have literally lost their jobs and those teachers haven't gotten them back. So
well, what happens is you get put on unpaid leave if you work in Portland Public Schools, and so you're not fired. But we did a you just don't get paid and you can't come to work.
Yeah,
so you're not
and they
fired,
don't need teachers or anything. So
they're not doing anything rash. But it's look, this is total insanity. Look, the mandate, the medicine mandate, still is now permanent. Okay. the state, one of the state's arguments, because, they said, of course, it's not a mandate. They came back then because the judges said, no, we're not going to dismiss the case. Okay. It's there, because they said it's not a mandate. They tried to dismiss it. Then they came back and said, hey, you're suing us based on the temporary rules. They're permanent now. So we want to dismiss the case. And we're like, can we modify the lawsuit to name the permanent rules? Because these are permanent rules. Just because they stopped, now that OHA has stopped recording and reporting cases and deaths and hospitalizations from COVID, they're still forcing people who did not get the medicine to endure these accommodations, and it's insanity, but they're not reporting. So they're like, there isn't any cases. We don't have any cases at the hospital, but we still got to wear our yellow badges. This is crazy.
And the media doesn't talk about it, and people just want it to go away. And it's like, but I hope what doesn't happen, I hope people remember this when they go to the ballot box and start looking at saying, how did we end up here? And it's because you need to know who you're voting for and what you're voting for and what they're capable of, because it's crazy. Ben, how do people get a hold of you if they want to know more about Free Oregon?
If they want to know more about Free Oregon, you go to freeoregon.us and you click that join button and you fill out a couple questions and you're a member of Free Oregon, and then you can go to work politically, and we'll give you information and all kinds of great stuff and support. And if you want to support me for state senate, you go to benedtl.com, benedtl.com. Go there and sign up and volunteer and donate and help out. We got a big fight.
All right. Ben, thanks for joining us.
Thanks for having me.
Get one of those things for your hair. It'll
I'll
help.
do that next time.
I'm gonna hit you up after this, man. You send me a link. I'll pick some up.
I'm gonna do an infomercial,
Just getting worse.
And we'll see you later.
Thank you, Rick. Thank you, Kim.
Bye.
Oh my gosh, bye. He cracks me up.
Guy. He's funny.
Yeah,
So,
he has a lot to say. I love his. Yeah, he's good for him, and we need him. So
I got to get this ad in real quick for Derek, because they have a house and it's up in Mckenzie, 405, and they sent me the little sheet, the MLS, but it won't transfer over, and I didn't notice it until, so it's like, my bad.
gosh.
But it's 40 acres, some timberland, fixer-up manufactured home, rare opportunity to own this 40-acre piece of coveted land. Tax lots are zoned RR2 and F2 with a manufactured home on it. And I do have in fact, let me pull this up. I put this together. So this is Derek, how you get a hold of him. And then there's also a site here that you can go and get a little video tour of this property.
Oh, okay.
And as everybody knows, Kim knows, Derek, once a month, we do a show on a business of our audience's choice. They pick a business, and we just go feature a business on these folks. Do a freebie because Derek pays for it, and then he always gives away like coupons. And last time they gave me like $200 worth of stuff. So
and the Coburg Candy Company, they did that, and he does fun places.
And we love having him as a sponsor. So that's a piece of property. Next time I'll have a picture, and it's my bad. I'm a terrible human being. So Kim, before we get to the Mckenzie, we have a new cub photographer.
Oh, this is so funny. Okay, yeah. So my mom is so funny. So she went and took Everett to practice, and I saw on Facebook that we have a new ice cream shop opening in Oakway tomorrow, Salt and Straw from Portland, which is so delicious. So I go, Mom, they say they're opening tomorrow. I'll drive by and see anything. She said, there's a huge line here right now. No, they're literally open. I don't know what's happening. Tried to find info. So I said, Mom, get video, and look what she did. She did a pretty good job. I think she's hired.
The duck's there. So where is it located? I can't see where that's.
Okay, so do you remember where the Nike was and where PF Chang's is?
Yeah.
It's right there. Look at that. So it's a big location. And look at this line. Do you see the duck in there? He was in there and that first shot. Yeah. So
what's your mom's first name?
Kathy. I know she's
Kathy
hired,
is
right?
really good. Kathy, I got to tell you, your camera, that's 480, and we need to get her like an iPhone, something.
I know.
Super
Poor
sexy.
Thing. She's got an older phone, but you know what? Look at her. She just did it nice and still. And
I get a lot of people, and they come on, and then they're going, Rick, I'm shooting some video, and you're going,
Yep. I know. She did a better job than me. Yeah, she's hired. So yeah, my mom got the video. So if you guys want ice cream, their grand opening is tomorrow, or so I thought. But maybe you should just go over there now if you're in Eugene and you want ice cream.
I bet that's a soft.
It's a soft. Get it? Have you had Salt and Straw? It's really delicious.
My son. Every time we go to Portland, but sometimes it's like, what? I don't want raw hamburger flavored ice cream. Sometimes it's really weird stuff. You know what I mean?
I know. Yes,
So
it's super strange. Yeah. Okay.
speaking of
So,
wonderful places to go, I'm going to let you take this on and go talk to Judy.
oh, okay. Judy's waiting. I know she's in a beautiful area on the Mckenzie. Speaking of the Mckenzie, and Judy Cassad is you're also a realtor, aren't you? You kind of, yeah.
Yes, I am with Windermere. Yes.
Yay. Well, thanks for joining us tonight. So, you guys have some fun stuff coming up. We love that the Mckenzie is opening back up and that it's looking back to its normal,
Mhm.
beautiful self. So, this weekend, you guys are having kind of a little meeting for everybody there to get things going and talking about some upcoming events, right? That you guys hope to have in the next year.
Right. I'm the secretary of the Chamber of Commerce here in Mckenzie River, and we are holding our annual membership meeting on Sunday. And this is an opportunity for many of our regular business owners to participate, and mingle and meet new friends. But it's also an opportunity for any business out there, even a service provider. There's a lot of service providers coming through our valley, helping out with the rebuilding process. And if they want their business to have more presence, the chamber is a really good venue for them to get involved with. So if you're interested in joining us at our event this weekend, it's Sunday, and we're going to have a taste of the Mckenzie for our guests. And if you are interested, you must RSVP. You can RSVP me, Judy at windermere.com. And some of the events that we are featuring this year, this 2022 season, we're launching with our meeting, of course. The Wooden Boat Festival is coming up here this month on the 23rd. And the Tokati in July, the Tokati anniversary celebration with fireworks.
Okay. Oh, yeah. Rick has these events listed for us. Okay.
Right. The Lavender Bloom is always a wonderful event. And of course, the Chainsaw and Arts Festival has been moved to next year, July the 2023, because they are going to be helping facilitate the World Athletic Games. One of the teams will be using our track and field for their practice. And I believe it's the team from Ireland. So that's going to be a lot of fun.
Wow.
The Walterville Fair in the September month, and also, of course, our Christmas Bazaar. But you can find out about our events and all kinds of little community events. Of course, Mckenzie has at least 9 or 10 communities from Cedar Flat all the way to Mckenzie Bridge. So there's a lot of events that happen through the year.
So tell Kim more about the Walterville Waddle.
Yes, please. I know. I was going to ask.
It's a really great name for a race, and it's anybody can join up and do it. And quite frankly, I don't know all the details, but it's somewhere between 2 to 5 miles. You can walk or run it, but it's called the Waddle.
And you don't waddle like Rick was doing? Okay. I hope not. That looks scary.
I couldn't waddle for 5 miles. That would be hard. Can you imagine your quads?
That would be that fast walking movement, right?
Yes.
See, Judy does it. See, Kim, you're like me. She was like, she's got her moves going on.
She knows exactly how it goes. Yeah, you protect your hips or something.
That's what it would be for me these days after all the sitting around that I do. But they are going to be starting at the Walterville Grange in Walterville at 8 a.m. on September the 10th. So all of this information you can find on the Chamber website, McKenzieChamber.com.
And Judy, I think what people sometimes don't understand is like even now you're still the valley's still recovering from the fires and stuff. And people are always thinking of, oh, well, what can I do to give to this organization or that organization? What a really great thing you can do is go do business up there. Go do lunch at Tokati, or go play golf, and then go to Kota's and have lunch. Go river with your kids and have a picnic, and then stop at some of the places and do some business. That's a really concrete way you can help restore the valley.
Yes. And Blue River got hit really hard. Of course, many residents from the Holiday Farm fire in Rainbow all the way to Lieber Dam got hit, but the town of Blue River, the business section, got completely devastated. And my husband's on the board of the park in Blue River, and we have designs that are being brought to us from a graduate of the UW. And so it's really exciting to see what the plans are. It's going to be a phenomenal park for friends and family and people to come to and enjoy. So that again is blueriverpark.com if anybody wants to see what's going on.
And can I ask you one more thing, just because we have you here? What's going on with the hatchery? Isn't there some big to-do going to happen with the hatchery there?
I'm not sure what's happening with the hatchery, but I do know that we're looking forward to a discovery center at the old
That's it.
hatchery building,
Oh,
and that's
okay.
across from the Lieberg Dam, I believe, that area. And
Mm-hmm.
that when that venue it finally gets built, and it's going to draw a lot of tourists from all over. It's going to be quite similar to a Disney style, or in Bend they have the High Desert Museum where it's interactive, and so it's excellent for children and people who want to learn about the drift boats and the fisheries, the different wildlife in the area. A really good learning environment for family and children, and
That sounds so
people who
fun.
want to know more about the drift boats and fishing in the Mckenzie.
Field trips coming
Yes.
our way.
Here you go. Judy, thank you for being with us tonight. That's awesome. We're all caught
Absolutely,
up.
my pleasure. Thank you for having me.
Oh,
Thanks, Judy. Yeah, we'll bug her again for sure. She's a wealth of knowledge over there. And I love that it looks so much better over there too. And to see all that happening finally, it was just so devastating driving
Everybody
through there
came
right
together.
away.
Yeah, they all came together and worked really hard, and they're still working really hard.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
I remember I went up and did a story on two now friends of mine, and they were planting mums.
Oh, yeah.
Remember that? They were just planting mums, and I
Mhm.
love that because it was just kind of restoring people, you know. And yeah, it's my old neighborhood, so I will always have a fondness for that beautiful river we have. Well, Kim, thanks for what you got planned with those little twins this weekend?
Okay, well, we have soccer games this weekend, and a birthday party. So, I mean, between that, hopefully it's not too bad of weather. We'll probably have some inside stuff too, but
Hold
but
on,
yeah, definitely busy.
Hey, Judy, you're still there? Judy, can I ask you a quick question?
Yes, sure.
Tom Hunt wants to know, when is it expected to open, the Discovery Center? Is there like a projected date?
Oh boy, I should know. I'm on the tourism committee from time to time. I don't recall exactly. It's a matter of getting all the funds for it, and I believe we're getting closer to that goal.
You know what?
Hopefully,
if you find out like a timeline or something like that, just email Kim or me and let me know, and then I'll just put it on one of my shows and just give you a little promotion and tell people what's going on.
that sounds great. We're also having a new music festival coming to the Mckenzie area, so that'll be happening in June. So we'll keep you abreast of what's coming up.
Let us know, because Kim, we'll do a show with you when you have.
We would love that.
Yes, absolutely.
Okay, great. Thanks, Judy. I'm glad
I'll go up and sing. I'll go do some karaoke. I'm sure that's what they want. No, but that's exciting that they have so much coming.
They don't want you singing anything.
Oh, I know. It's true.
Now here's
okay. I'll have the kids do it. They'll have the
Matt
kids.
Kendall says, so many
I
soccer teams. I feel your pain, Kim. Vancouver, Washington last weekend, and Portland this week.
Oh my gosh, I know those days are coming, Matt. Right? So far, we're not driving, but I know that's right around the corner.
Well, you have fun. My children are all grown up, and I don't have to do that anymore.
Your boys are all grown up now. I know, but now you've had baby bunnies, and now we're there doing that. So we're gonna have to show you. Yeah.
Okay. Well, I'll help you with that too. All right, Kim. See you later.
Okay. Bye, guys.
That woman works so hard for us. We're glad to have her, and we're really glad to have you guys too. So, yeah, I miss Oregon, but I don't feel like I'm gone. I'm coming back at the end of the month because I'm doing a big video for a family in town, and I'll be back there for about a week. But yeah, if any of you guys have things going on, or events, or of things going on, let Kim and me know, because that's what we want to promote is Oregon and what you're doing. And I'm going to start getting some stuff here from Montana just to show you what's going on here too, because what we're trying to do a little bit is we're all one big place. What happens in Oregon somehow affects Montana, Idaho, Washington. We're all just a big community of people. And I think sometimes we get so locked into our little areas, sometimes we forget that there's people outside of our area that some think differently and some think the same. And it's really healthy to see that. So that's what we're going to hope to bring you. So anyway, well, have a good night. We're not here tomorrow. We're back on Monday. And we'll have a whole new, in fact, what we're going to do on Monday is I have a woman I've finally gotten somebody to come on and do this. She's been catfished by someone using my picture, and she gave them $100,000, and she's trying to get that back. But we're going to talk about how they do this and what they do. And it's a huge problem, and you need to be very careful, because a lot of women get taken by that, and men too. So you need to be very careful. So we'll have that on Monday. All right. I'll talk to you guys later. Have a good night. Share this on your page, please, so other people see it. Okay. Okay. I can tell if you don't. I can.